When President Trump smirked and asked Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett where she learned English, the room held its breath, but her reply didn't just silence him. It ignited a fire that would burn through the nation's conscience. What happens when a single sentence, spoken in a high school gymnasium, cracks open years of buried frustration and becomes the rallying cry for millions? The air in Dayton's refurbished gym was thick with the scent of fresh paint and old sweat, a fitting metaphor for the polished performance about to unfold. Cameras panned across banners proclaiming stronger communities, safer streets, while Secret Service agents lingered near exits, their earpieces humming with directives. The Voices of America tour was designed to be a victory lap, a stage dialogue where the president could play statesman, nodding at pre-screened questions. But no one had accounted for Jasmine Crockett. She sat in the third row, spine straight as a ruler, fingers tapping her legal pad. Her suit was crisp, her lipstick bold, but it was her stillness that stood out like a blade sheathed in velvet. Behind her, whispers slithered through the crowd. "That's the firebrand from Texas. Watch this." Her phone buzzed silently in her pocket, another message from a constituent. "Tell them about the black mold in my son's school." She didn't need notes for this. She'd lived it. Trump took the stage, oozing his usual bravado, doling out praise for the economy, the military, his America. The early questions were soft as Butara, small business owner, gushing about tax cuts. A sheriff thanking him for keeping streets safe. Then the moderator called her name. The room tensed. "Congresswoman Crockett, your question?" She rose slowly, adjusting the mic like she had all the time in the world. "Good evening, Mr. President." Her voice was honey over steel. "My constituents can't feed their families on your economic miracles. They're choosing between insulin and rent. Their schools have textbooks older than their teachers. So here's my question. When you slashed Title I funding, did you ever visit the classrooms it would destroy?" A murmur rippled through the gym. Trump's smile twitched. He leaned in, patronizing. "Those schools were disasters long before I got here. Maybe your local leaders should have managed better." Jasmine didn't blink. "They begged your administration for help. Your education department froze grants while kids shivered under leaky roofs. Greatness doesn't start with a slogan. It starts with a child who can't focus because her classroom smells like mildew." The audience erupted. Someone shouted, "Preach." Trump's jaw tightened. Then the pivot. "So tell me," he drawled, "where'd you learn English? You speak it very well." The gasp was collective. The cameras zoomed. Jasmine let the silence hang, just long enough for the insult to sink in. Then, with a smile sharp as broken glass, "In Texas public schools, Mr. President, the same ones your policies keep underfunding." The room exploded. Teachers shot to their feet, clapping so hard their palms burned. A teen in the back row filmed on her phone, mouthing, "Oh my God." Even the Fox News correspondent looked stunned. Trump's aides scrambled like ants under a magnifying glass. Stopped by midnight. The clip had 10 million views. Memes spliced her words with videos of kids in crumbling classrooms. Hashtags like #where ill-earned English trended globally, flooding social media with stories. "I learned in a Puerto Rican barrio with one textbook for 5 kids. I learned in a Detroit kitchen with my grandma's newspaper." Trump's team spun it as fake outrage. Pundits called her too polished. But in living rooms and break rooms, people replayed those 17 seconds like a hymn. A retired teacher in Birmingham mailed Jasmine a handwritten note. "You spoke for every child who's ever been made to feel small." Jasmine knew backlash was coming. The trolls, the smears, the angry black woman tropes. But as she sat in a Peoria middle school weeks later, watching kids perform poems about resilience, she wondered, what if this wasn't just a moment? What if it was the start of rewriting the rules? So tell us, where did you learn your voice? And what would you say to those who've tried to silence it? Drop your stories below.